with your ACCA qualification, as well as your journey to membership. And it will also focus on your employability skills like CV writing, interview skills, etc., presentation skills, which will help you understand what is the employer looking for in you as you all are poised to kickstart your careers. Today, at the start of Skill Academy, I will talk a little bit about Skill Academy just a little bit later in the slide. And we will talk about, ACCA membership, why you should progress to ACCA membership, and the entire journey of PER. This will help you log on to your PER time, employment details. I'll go through all of your performance objectives, etc. So if you have not yet started working, if you're looking to start working, this will help you understand, after your qualification, what are the steps that are needed to take to get to ACCA membership. And as well as, how do you create supervisors, some of the intricate details about the membership itself. So let's get started. In the beginning, I just want to take a few minutes to talk about why should you get to ACCA membership at all. Now, after your qualification, I am certain that all of you will get splendid jobs and you will start working in the organizations of your desire. And then you may have a question, okay, if I'm already working now, why should I then go for ACCA membership? Well, ACCA membership brings with it the ACCA letters. You may have seen on LinkedIn, on business cards of ACCA members, they write their name and they write the ACCA letters after their name. Now, sometimes, there is some misconception that ACCA letters can be written after you get qualified, but ACCA letters can only be written after you attain your ACCA membership. Okay, so, and those letters, what does that mean? To the world outside, especially to your employers, to your peers in the industry, those letters mean that you are amongst a very coveted group of finance and accounting professionals, and that you have the experience and the knowledge that, experience and the knowledge from ACCA to be successful in any kind of finance and accounting profiles that you undertake. Secondly, ACCA has more than 230,000 members across the world. And in India, we have around 1,500 members now, and we're growing very rapidly. Now, we are a very, very strong knit community here in India and globally as well. No matter where you end up, where you land in the world, you'll find that there will be someone from the ACCA family, your fellow members, to help you. And that kind of community strength comes from your own membership. So that is another reason why you should progress to ACCA membership. Thirdly, it is the choice amongst the employers. We have over 7,000 employers, approved employers globally, and in India, many organizations from India and also international organizations are part of that network. Infosys, Accenture, apart from the big fours, etc., Tech Mahindra. So we are really diversifying even here in India in our approved employer base. So they will recognize your ACCA membership while you're applying for the job or while you're working there, and that will bring a lot of pride to you as you step up in your professional life. So that is another reason why you should make sure that you move to ACCA membership. It also provides, ACCA provides cutting edge research to you, making sure that you continuously update your knowledge on the latest that is happening on finance and accounting, be it in the technology front or the ethics front. So we make sure that our members are abreast with all the knowledge that you should have as you progress in your career as well. So for that also, another reason to get ACCA membership. We do in your ACCA qualification and through your EPSM module, you'll realize that ACCA is at the center stage. And this is something that, employers really recognize and appreciate. about ACCA members. So, to make sure that employers, they're below 25 who have traveled across the world through various regions, various continents, as young as 25, 3-4 continents, working in various kinds of roles. So ACCA provides that global mobility because this is a qualification which is recognized across the world. And for that also, look forward to welcome all of you to ACCA membership. If you need to understand more about ACCA membership, you can always visit our global website. You will see why ACCA members, are appreciated across the world, and why you need to progress to ACCA membership after your qualification is over. In India, we do some amazing work with our members. In the screen, you see the Financial Literacy Project. This was a project that members got together in India and created, and it was launched on 15th of August recently. In the Independence Day. This is a give back program that members have come up. You see the girl and the robot there. They are the mascots of the program, and they tell stories to children so that they can learn about what financial literacy is, why should they be able to manage their money better to become independent citizens. We will be placing this free of cost across schools in India, and we are working also to place this program globally. We already have a great response from schools, and these are the kind of projects that members come together to do. For young students like you, and as young members, once you become a member, these kinds of projects will give you an opportunity to work with senior members and sharpen your skills and learn new things, as well as apply your knowledge of ACCA in a different variety of ways to give back to the community, and as well as come together as a community of members yourselves. Another project that we worked with members was the MSME report. Now, again, this is a project that was led by the ACCA India member committee. ACCA has a member committee which comprises of some of our senior most members who are partners in Big Four, CFOs in big firms, and together with some of our young volunteering members, we created this very comprehensive report which will help the MSME sector understand how they can come out of the COVID impact that they have been facing year. And this is again another project where young members, students like you will become members, got to work with really senior members from the industry writing this report, and they got a lot of experience which they have told me personally has helped them even in their professional workplace. So this kind of opportunities are provided here in India. We have member hangouts, casual sessions for you to network with your fellow members and also share your experiences working in various kinds of roles and networking for jobs, etc. So lots of opportunities we provide in India itself, apart from professional development as a community for members to come and work together. So, so these are the reasons why you should become an ACCA member. And, so before we start getting into the PER, I'd also like to talk about, as a student right now who's probably thinking about starting their careers, you need to understand how you can connect with, ACCA advocates, as we call them. ACCA advocates are ACCA members who have signed up with us to help the student community, the future members, students like you, to sharpen their skills on various different topics, making sure that you enhance your employability and stand a better chance of securing a job with an organization of your choice. For that, number one, what you need to do today after this is make sure that you have a profile on LinkedIn if you do not already. Start looking out for ACCA advocates in India. There are lots of ACCA advocates in India, and they're really ready to help you with any questions that you may have, especially for jobs. Please understand the subtle art of digital networking. How do you network, amongst, especially in the online world, to understand what are the opportunities that exist out there for young finance professionals. ACCA members are already there to help you. So harness that network, start connecting with ACCA members. This is very, very important for you to start doing from right now. And also install the ACCA Insight app. There's an app called Insights, which is from ACCA. It is both on Android as well as iCloud, iPhone. Please make sure that you download that app. That app will give you all the list of research, podcasts, reports that our ACCA members or ACCA globally, our team in the UK produces, working with experts in finance and accounting. This is very important for you to have because apart from what you've learned at ACCA through the qualification, it is very, very important for you to know what is happening, what are the trending topics for finance and accounting professionals right now. Does a finance professional need to learn coding or Python, or what is data analytics all about? What is robotics all about? And how it is really changing the accounting and finance landscape. So all of this is there in the app. When you go for a job interview, if you can talk about some of these things that ACCA has empowered you with, I'm certain that there is definitely a competitive advantage for you amongst others who will go for that interview. So make sure that you have all of this. Our network is really there to support you, and I hope you'll make the maximum use of it. Now, talking about the network, I'd like to take some time to talk about the ACCA Skill Academy. Now, this is a initiative from ACCA India, along with our members and some of our employers. So with the ACCA Skill Academy, what we are doing is connecting you, students like you, with members, experienced members, to help you with 4 aspects, which we felt was very important, as we got a lot of queries in the previous years from students in these 4 areas. Number 1 was mock interviews. You might, if it's your first job, if it's your first experience giving an interview, especially a lot of interviews now are happening online. So, you might have questions about what are the common questions that are asked in an interview? What is an employer looking for from a first-time candidate? What are some of the tricky questions that are asked, like strengths and weaknesses? Tell me about where you want to see yourself in 5 years. These are questions that are normally asked. And how do you really approach these questions? How do you position your skills? And how do you make sure that you come across as a person who is ready to learn and better than the rest? So members will help you because they've gone through that same experience, and they take some of these interviews day in and day out. So they will be really able to help you understand some of these. And so, recently we had connected for this mock interview purpose with some of our members, and the next week 2 of them were able to crack the interview and get their jobs in Big Four. So it was really helpful to them. I hope it'll be helpful to you as well. Secondly, I'll take you through the PER session right now today. But even then, I'm 100% sure that while you're writing your summaries, etc., you will have certain questions about PER. How do I complete it? Members have gone through the same journey. While you can reach out to us for a session on PER, they will be able to help you with their own personal experiences of how they recorded their PER. That is another thing that members can help you with. Thirdly, career counseling. Like I said, technology has really changed the way that finance and accounting profession, the whole landscape. So new roles are coming out for finance and accounting professionals, like data analysts, business advisors. So, apart from the traditional audit roles and the roles that you would have seen previously, the whole landscape has changed. And especially with a qualification like ACCA, you have a lot of opportunities out there to work in very different kinds of roles. So to understand what are the skills that are required, what you need to build, what skills you need to build and learn, as well as based on your own interest, what is that role that suits you the most? These are the questions that members can counsel you with. So you can book for counseling sessions with members. And lastly, exam and qualification support is, any questions about examinations, about the qualification, life after the ACCA qualification, etc. All of this will be addressed by ACCA members. So in these 4 areas, we have created a platform through which you can connect with members for short-term mentorship relationship. Ideally, the mentorship relationship is for a month, as we have designed it, unless members and students decide amongst themselves that they want to carry the relationship forward. For this now, if you are interested, you can always reach out to the coordinators at Saraf, maybe Madhu, and she can let me know who amongst you are interested to connect with a member. Let us know which are the areas that you want to connect to the member with, and we will be able to help you map your interest with the members and start that mentoring relationship for you. So I would urge you to let your interest be known to your faculty, to your coordinators, so that you can make the most out of what the community is offering. And this is really a help that members are offering to you. So only caveat from my end as a member engagement manager for ACCA is that respect the time of the members. If you do apply for this mentorship relationship, respect the time of the members, make sure that you are professional, because that's how we will want to view you. You are students right now, but you will be stepping into that world of job search very soon. So be a professional, follow up for your meetings, keep time on appointments, and make the most out of your relationship. The community is absolutely behind you to support you. And hopefully, once you become members yourselves, you will also volunteer to help students, future members, with their queries. So this is what Skill Academy is all about. Apart from all the sessions that we will organize for you, you should look to develop these relationship with members. So we have cut short the search for you. Apart from searching on LinkedIn, you can directly now connect with members through ACCA's Skill Academy program. Okay, and if you have any questions regarding this, you can please put it on the chat box, and I'll come back to that towards the end of the session. So now I want to now take you through the PER journey. So that was all about membership and Skill Academy, and how you can connect with members. Now let's look at PER. What does the system look like? What does PER mean? Why you need to go through this to get your membership, and why after qualification still you need to ensure that you complete this entire PER process to become a member. Okay, so today we'll get familiar with the PER system. I will talk to you about assigning your supervisors. I'll talk to you about employment and time recording details. And we will end with understanding what is performance objectives, how you can complete your performance objectives, how do you write the summaries, etc. All right then. So with the PER system, there are 4 things that you will do. First, you will record 36 months of your experience at any workplace that you may have worked in a relevant role, meaning role of finance or accounting professional. So you will record your time, okay, 36 months, that is 3 years. Then you will record your performance objectives. In time, you will record all your employment details, where you worked, how long did you work for, what are the different roles that you worked at. And in your performance objectives recording, you will record your, what did you do at your workplace? How did you apply the ACCA qualification knowledge that you have? And what did you in turn learn at your workplace while you achieved this performance objectives? So those are the 2 key elements that you will record. Then you will need to get both your time as well as your objectives approved by your supervisor. We'll talk about who can be your supervisor and all that in the next few slides. And lastly, you will submit it for review. Okay, so that is all about your PER, recording your time, recording your objectives, submitting it to the supervisor for approval, and then the whole thing is done. You submit it to ACCA for review. Now, I have put some screenshots so that you can visualize what this looks like, but I will also request you to kindly, after the session, during the weekend, maybe whenever you have time, if you have not already done so, please go through the PER system. It is in your My ACCA already. Familiarize yourself with the whole system, even if you are not working right now. If you've already started working, start recording some of your details so that it becomes easy for you. So on the employment part, now how do you get to this dashboard? First of all, on My ACCA, you have something called My Experience Dashboard. you'll have to click on my experience, and this is the kind of page that opens up. There are two sections, as you can see. One is employment and the second is performance objectives. We will take some time to talk about the employment section first. Employment basically means recording your time. So in employment, you'll have to, as I said, record 3 years of your experience. If your 3 years of experience is not recorded, that is, if 36 months of your experience is not recorded, then you will not be ready to be a member. So only after you complete your 36 months will you be ready to apply for membership. All right. And here you will you record all the time that you've spent at various organizations, or one organization, depends on where you spend those 3 years at. So on the left-hand side, you can see that, it is a very intuitive system. You're all, I'm sure, millennials, so I don't have to really explain to you a lot about how to navigate through the system. It is quite intuitive. But in case, I've just put up these screens. It's easier for you to visualize, and once you get into the system, it will become easier for you. So on the left-hand side, there is employment details that you have to fill. So you can, every time, for example, you are, for example, just adding a new employer, just click on add new employer. And on the right-hand side, once you add the details about the new employer, you will see that you will be able to fill some more additional details, like your job title, when did you start at that particular workplace, and when did you end your, if you at all decide to leave that organization and go to another one, then you will need to put in the end date. You also put in the average hours that you work at that place, and how much is the role, how much was it relevant. Now for most of you, the roles will be 100% relevant, but for those maybe you work in an admin, or as you start your career, you may take a variety of different roles, and if it does not encompass wholly accounting and finance kind of a role, then you'll need to specify how much of your role or how much of your time was spent in doing accounting and finance related matters. And lastly, let us know whether you work with an approved employer or not. So for this, if you do not know whether you're working with an approved employer or not, you can always reach out to your faculty, or you can reach out to us. The easiest way, however, is just go to our global website, and there's a list of approved employers already there. Now, if you do not take anything back from this session today, I know it is already evening, and it may be difficult for you to retain everything that I talk about, but there's one thing that you can take back from this session. It will be this: make sure that before you leave any organization, you put in the end date and get your time approved by your supervisor. For example, of the 36 months or 3 years that you're trying to record your experience about, let's say you worked for the first year you worked with KPMG or ABC, and the rest of the 2 years you worked with XYZ company. Now, before you leave the ABC, your former organization, make sure that you put in the end date before you leave the organization, approved by your supervisor. If you do not do this, then if your supervisor does not approve PER the system, then it means that ACCA cannot acknowledge your time that you spent working in that organization, which basically means that you'll have lost that first year of your work experience, and you'll have to again get one more year of experience to complete your PER. Okay, so before moving from one organization to another, if you are doing that in the first 36 months of your job, which you're recording for your PER, make sure that you put the end date. Please remember this, because a lot of affiliates move from one organization to another. They think that they'll do their PER when they complete their full 3 years, and by the time they realize that, okay, they will not be able to really account for the time that they've spent working, maybe 1.5 years in a particular organization, because it was not approved in the system, then they lose it. So I would not like for you to lose any time that you've worked. So please make sure that you record your time. Now, I'm often asked questions like, will an internship role be okay? Will a teaching role be okay to record? Will a part-time role be okay to record? any kind of role that you have taken. ACCA is very flexible, and we want to make sure that any experience that you have gathered should be recorded on PER, and we are very, very flexible. If at all any one of you is engaged in teaching finance and accounting, or will be engaged in teaching finance and accounting, 1 year or 12 months of teaching experience is also accepted in PER. Okay, so don't lose any kind of experience that you may have. Some of you may have, worked, for example, before you completed your qualification, you worked in a certain organization. Will that experience count? That will also count, provided your supervisor will now retrospectively approve that for you on the system. Okay, so make sure that as soon as you start working in any organization, you start filling these details out so that you don't miss any experience that you would have gained. So that is time, recording your time. And at the end of all of this, just click save and finish. Now we'll talk about supervisors. So, we initially talked about that both your time and objective needs to be approved by your supervisor. So who is the supervisor? The supervisor is someone PER journey. So if you imagine that you've started working in an organization, and you're talking to your line manager, and you are talking about the fact that you need to complete your PER. There are certain objectives that you need to complete, and you will need to file the time of your experience while you're working with this organization. We would like for your line manager to be your supervisor as much as possible. Okay, so as much as possible, your line manager should be a supervisor. So you need to have this conversation with your supervisor, your line manager, as soon as you join any organization. Don't look at your line manager, all of this supervisor business, as just something that you need to do for your PER and for to complete and get into membership. But rather let this PER process help you build a rapport with your supervisor, with your line manager. Let this help your manager understand the different kinds of things that you will need to achieve, the different kinds of objectives that you will need to achieve for you to become a member, because that will also show them the depth of the ACCA qualification and the strength of knowledge that you bring with yourself. So let this be a conversation that will help you build on those first few days, first few months of your career. And I'm 100% sure, after looking at the different kinds of objectives, your line manager and you will be able to build a better relationship, and they will get a better understanding of the qualification and your own qualities through that discussion. Okay, so who will be your supervisor? Preferably your line manager. Now, when can your line manager not be your supervisor, right? Your line manager will always be the person to approve your time, your employment details. They are the people who know how much time you spent at your workplace. So for your time, that is your employment details that we just went through, your line manager will be the person to approve it. For your performance objectives, also, we will prefer at ACCA for your line manager to be your supervisor. However, if your line manager is not a qualified professional, is not a qualified accountant, in that instance, then you can make sure that your if there's anyone within your organization who can be your supervisor, like your manager's manager, maybe if that person is professionally qualified, then that person can be your supervisor. However, if you're nobody in your organization that you work at who is a qualified professional, then you can always write to ACCA. We can help you get external supervisors. That is through the membership network, or you can also look for external supervisors yourself. But now recently our global team has started a project where we are helping young affiliates find external supervisors in case that they do not have their own line managers are not professionally qualified, or within the organization they cannot find someone who can do it for them. Then ACCA will help you, so you can always write to us. However, try your best to make your line manager both your supervisor for your time as well as professional objectives. How many supervisors do you need? I think that's very clear. If your line manager is qualified, you will just have one supervisor. But if your line manager is not qualified, your line manager will still be your supervisor for time and employment details, But for your performance objectives, then you can look for somebody else who ACCA will help you find. So that is all about supervisors. Okay, just to do a quick recap, make sure you build your relationship with your line manager with discussions about your performance objectives, the different kinds of roles that you can explore within that organization to complete your objectives. And that will, I'm sure, be a very good foundation for you to build your relationship with. Your performance objective supervisor needs to be professionally qualified. If you do not find anyone who is professionally qualified within the organization, reach out to ACCA. So that was all about your supervisors. On the system, how do you record it? Again, there's a screenshot. On the employment section, right inside bottom, you will see an option of practical experience supervisor. Click on add supervisor. And once you click on add supervisor, you will see that there's an email that you can write to your supervisor. You'll need to put their email address, your line manager's address. Send that email to him or her. After they receive the email, they will just need to do a one-step registration on the ACCA platform, which will take about 2 minutes. It's a very simple process. And after that, they will be able to receive your submissions within that system and approve it within the system, so that we know how many you have submitted and how your supervisor has reacted. All right, so that was all about supervisors. Now, once you have a supervisor, and let's say for example, on the screen, you can see this person has 17 months of experience recorded. What you can do now is claim time. Just a second, please. Sorry about that. That's my son. It was raining outside, so he has come back with all his friends. I'm just shooing him away. Sorry about that. So, okay. So once you have, once you have certain amount of time that you have to claim, what you need to do is right on the top, you can see the claim time button. And if you click on it, this is what you will see. You just need to press on claim time now. Once you do that, you will be able to see a screen like this, where you can write short on the right hand side. You can see that you will be able to select which supervisor that you are choosing for more than one supervisor. Then write all your details, just request your supervisor to approve this and submit it, and he or she will receive it, and will be able to provide comments or approve your submission. So that was all about recording your time and assigning your supervisor and submitting your time details to your supervisor. I hope that was clear. If not, if I'm very rushed, you can always put your questions in the chat box and I will be able to address them. Now, let's quickly look at performance objectives. So while time tells us how much time you've spent in an organization, performance objectives let us know at ACCA how you have spent that time. What have you been doing during that time? How have you applied the ACCA knowledge? What have you learned while working in that particular organization? Okay, so there are 5 essential performance objectives that are compulsory for all of you to complete. Now, when I say that, these are some basic objectives that not only in finance and accounting, but also in various other roles you will be expected as professionals to undertake or to achieve. Okay, professionalism and ethics, stakeholder relationship management, strategy and innovation, governance, risk and control, leadership and management. Now, these are objectives that you will have to achieve in your first 3 years, and achieving these will make you a better professionals. We expect you to complete all 5 of this. After you do that, you will see that you will need to complete 4 more. So in total, there are 9 objectives that you need to complete. 5 are the essential objectives, and rest of the 4 you can select from any of the topics that are given here under corporate reporting, financial management, sustainable management accounting, tax
I think there has been a network issue. So,
She will join in, no worry.
yep.
Yes, now she is there.
Are you able to hear me? Apologies. It's raining heavily in Bangalore. I'm so sorry. And
Oish.
you know, let me just continue. Let me know if you can see the screen again. Able to see the screen?
Yeah, yes, we can see.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. Okay, thank you. Objectives that you want to go with. Next step for objective will have a and it will require of 200 to 500 words. Okay, a description, 5 elements, and a statement.
Yeah, hi, Barsha, your voice is still breaking.
From the objective screen. Now, there are a lot of, the object. Oh, okay, let me just give me again. Hi, is it better now?
Yes, Barsha.
You can hear me, right? I'm really sorry about this, everyone.
No worries. It's okay.
Okay. I'll try to quickly finish now. I'm really at the end slide now. So on the performance objectives, on the left hand side, you will see that you have various different kinds of performance objectives listed. And on the right hand side, you will see a description which will already be there about the performance objective that you have selected. There will be 5 elements that will be listed, and there will be a statement that you will need to write. Now, in that 5 elements, you really do not need to do anything there. All you need to do is press on claim, claim, claim. So what you need to do is think about it. Think about the element that is listed. Think about whether have you been able to achieve those elements or not. And then if you feel that you have completed that, that task or that element, then click on claim. All you need to do is click on claim. These elements will help you write your statement. Okay, why are these elements there? Is to let you know the different aspects of that particular performance objective, help you reflect about it, and think about whether or not you have had in your statement. Your statement will only be 200 to 500 words. It is a very, very short statement. And I will just talk about how will you write your statement. So, for your statement, make sure that you provide examples of what you have done and not talk about, what is the team like, talk about the objective itself, or make a very large description how you should achieve those objectives. But just write, what did you do? What was your experience like? Okay, and avoid repeating examples. Just tell us, what did you learn and how did you implement what you learned? Okay, so these are the things that we want to hear from you on your statement. It is just 200 words, which is really brief, 200 to 500, it's really brief. So I hope that it'll be easy for you. And once you start reflecting how you spent your time for all of each of these objectives, it'll be easier for you. But again, if you need help here, because as ACCA, we may not be able to help you because we are also assessing. But if you need help from any members in understanding how to write statement, through Skill Academy, we are connecting you with members who have gone through the same experience of writing statements, going through performance objectives, etc. So they will be able to help you understand better how to write a statement. However, I'd urge all of you to give it a try. It is very, very simple. And if you worked in any organization, worked in that, once you look at the various elements, it'll come to you very, very easily. So that is all about performance objectives. And how do you claim the objectives? It is very simple, similar again. Right at the top, right inside, you will see a basket, just like an Amazon or any kind of e-commerce website basket. Click on that basket. Once your objectives are completed, they will be stored in the basket. It'll indicate how many are ready to be submitted. Click there, you will come on a screen like this. Select the person that you are submitting to, your supervisor, and just write a few requests for him or her and submit it. And they will be able to provide their comments or approve your work. So that is it, everything about PER, and I'm waiting to welcome all of you to membership. It should be fairly easy. And if it is not, you can always reach out to us and we will be able to provide you more help and guidance. So thanks everyone for your time. I'm extremely apologetic for my internet connection today, but I hope you got most of it. And if there are any questions, I'll be happy to take them now.
Hello, ma'am. On
Yes.
behalf of students, I am asking one question single.
So, certainly.
There are two kinds of students who are not falling in this category.
Okay.
I mean to say that suppose there is a student who is doing ACCA after their class 12 or maybe at 11th class, and they have completed their ACCA journey, all the exams before their graduation only or along with graduation.
Okay.
So they have not worked anywhere. Actually, normally saying they have not worked anywhere.
They've not started working.
Yeah, they have not started working. So after getting the qualification, you can say as an ACCA affiliate, they will be start working and then they will be completing the 36 months of work experience. And then they will be getting the membership, PR and everything.
Correct.
The second student is that there are many students who have already completed professional qualification, like CA, CWA, MBA, and they have already worked for more than 4, 5 years, 10 years in the industry.
Got it.
So they just need to clear the exams. Since their work experience is already ready, so they will be able to apply for the membership straight away after clearing the exams.
No, so they will, so even if you have worked, no matter if you have experience of 15 years or 20 years, it does not matter. To become an ACCA member, you will need to make sure that that experience is recorded in the PER and approved by your supervisor.
So that is I'm asking.
For example, let's say I was just interacting with the vice president of a certain organization. Now he has, you can imagine, a lot of experience. And, so he was working with me so that he can complete his PER and get into membership. So even he will have to, get into the system and record all of this, what I just talked about, his time and his experience, write those objectives and then submit. Okay, so let's say a person has completed CA. Let's take that example. And the Indian CA. right, from ICAI. They must have done their articleship. Even if no other experience, they would have definitely done their articleship, right? Articleship experience is also, is also considered in the ACCA PER. But what they will need to do is they will need to go back to the organization. If they're not working in that organization currently, they will need to go back to their supervisor, get them to sign up as a supervisor within the PER, and then inside the PER, get them to, sign off on their objectives and time both. So that needs to be done. You cannot get into membership directly just because you have experience if you have not completed your PER. So that is a must-have for you to become, anybody to become a member. For those who have not started working yet, that is absolutely fine. Whenever you start working, start recording as soon as you find your first job. Start becoming familiar with the PER, interface, and start recording your experience, your time. And unless you get those 36 months of experience, you will not qualify to become a member. But start early, I would say. Start sending stuff to your, submission of your time and your experience to your supervisors in piecemeal, and don't wait right at the end to do it. That will be my suggestion, sir, for anybody who who is not started working yet, because of course PER is directly linked to your work experience.
Okay, does
that answer your question?
Yeah, you answered 99%, 1% is left.
Sure, certainly.
I'm just saying that suppose I have completed my articleship last year, and I am maybe a CA, or maybe I am not fully qualified, CA part qualified, and I have completed my ACCA exams. Now I got my articleship completion letter from the ACCA Institute that I have served under this organization for this much period. This was my partner and all that. But still, I want to go back and need to sign the PER. Then only I will be getting the membership.
Absolutely. Any letter or anything will not mean anything if it's not done in the PER. So that's what I said right at the beginning. That there are people who would have worked for 10 years and they moved organization. And did not really record their time, right? So for your time, you will need to make sure that you will need to make sure that your supervisor, manager from your previous firm or your previous experience, wherever you've worked, wherever you've done your articleship, you'll have to reach out to your manager, get them to sign up to this, and then get them to approve it within the system. So yeah, that is it. So
that's done.
It is not inside the PER system. Okay, nothing, no letter, nothing counts. So that is the whole process. That's why I thought I'll take you through that today, as it is very important. And even if you're a student who's not started it yet, then it is a very good time that you got to interact today. I got to interact with you today, so that whenever you start your first job, start recording from that time itself.
Okay, got it, ma'am. Okay. If anybody has any specific query, you can chat, you can unmute yourself, and you can ask ma'am. But the ma'am's session is very fantastic. Okay, I got 100% clarity about how to get PR and membership.
Thank you. And I'm here to support anytime. I'm looking at whether there is, any question.
Yes.
Okay, there's a question. Okay, hi, Shabazz, please go ahead.
Yeah. I had a question regarding that passive membership of CPA Canada through ACCA membership. Is there any update on that, man? I mean, whether there was a MOU, I think, which has expired, or there's no more that MOU. So is that
it's not there anymore? That's correct. So no, so you already have the answer, Shabazz. Right now for this year, we do not have the CPA and ACCA MRA. Does not exist anymore. It existed till March of 2020. We worked to renew it with the CPA body. And of course, my colleagues in the UK at the highest level were working, and they worked for quite some time with CPA. But unfortunately, we could not come to an agreement, and that was for various reasons. But those reasons are to secure the interest of ACCA members. And unfortunately, we could not get that MRA signed again. But I'm not sure whether next year how the process is going to be. I would not like to promise. But right now, Shabazz, it doesn't exist.
Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you. And I can understand there's a lot of members from India do apply for the CPA MRA, and a lot of them have moved to Canada. But For now, it doesn't exist, Shabazz, but it would be good to check next year again around March, April.
Just a question, just to add one question, ma'am. Like in that earlier MRA, was there only a professional requirements like to be appeared, or we had to appear for some examination as well? Like for Indian CAs, we have to appear the CSE exam, which is a 3-day exam for CPA Canada. So like when we were having this MRA, what was the procedure? Can you give a light on
So,
that?
I mean, it doesn't exist anymore, but still until last year, no, they did not need to, from my understanding, I will have to check, but with my experience of working with the members, no, they did not have to go for any examinations. It was, they just had to apply for the CPA membership.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
With the fees that would be applied, but no more examinations were necessary at that time.
Okay, that answers my question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am,
Yes, Ayush, hi.
ma'am, I am an MCOM student
Okay.
and I have been working in a CA firm since last 1 year.
Okay.
And I have been a student for ACCA since last 1 year. So
Okay.
I haven't registered in PER till now.
Okay.
So my 1 year experience will be counted, or I have to?
You're still working in the same firm, right, Ayush?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Then hurry up. Just start your PER, and start recording your time. Assign your supervisor, right? I just showed you how to do it. It's very simple. Once you get into the system will also let you know how to do it. And assign your supervisor whatever time that you have been working there. Please go ahead and approve. You can get it approved anytime.
Okay,
Just
so
before leaving the organization that you're working at, make sure that your supervisor approves all the time that you gather. Okay, because
so
once
how
you
does
leave the organization,
supervisor will approve it? Because
so you just, as I showed you, assign a supervisor within the system, and once you submit your time, it will automatically reach to the supervisor. It is very simple, Ayush. So supervisor will also have to register on the ACCA system. It will take 2 minutes for them to do it. So first you add a new supervisor, the email address of the supervisor. Your supervisor will receive an email from ACCA to register.
Okay.
And they will have to register. It just takes about 2 minutes. Once they register, then you can submit your time to them and they can approve. Within the ACCA system, it happens automatically.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you so much,
do
Varsha.
we need to submit any proof, like any letter or?
No, just the fact that your supervisor is approving is proof enough. So no, you do not have any proof.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayush.
Hello, ma'am. Rekha here. I have a question.
Hi.
You told that our line manager need to be professionally qualified. So is it need to be ACCA or an MBA would also do?
No, MBA will not do it. He needs to be a professionally qualified accountant. So they need to be a part of the IFSC body, which means that they can be an Indian, they can be a CA from ICAI, CIMA, CPA, CFA, ACCA. It could be anybody, but not an MBA. They will need to be an accountant, Rekha. So if your line manager is not an accountant, then they can sign up for time, but not your performance objectives.
CPA Australia would do?
Yes, that will also do. That's an IFSC body. You can go to IFAC website and you will see the list of all the qualifications that falls under their membership.
Okay, so I'm serving at my current company from last year, 2020. So can I start the peer registration and that 1 year would count to that?
Of course. If you have not left the organization, then it certainly
I'm
counts.
still working.
Wonderful. So please start recording. And if, for example, if any of you are working in an organization where you're not working anymore, right? Let's say you worked in an organization for 2 years ago, and reach out to your manager and see if your previous manager would still like to prove it. So it's totally up to you and your manager, So if you're still working in that organization, then please have a word with your manager. I'm sure they'll be able to do this for you.
I have 5 years of total experience, and I worked before in a company for more than 3 years. So if I can talk to him and he can get it approved, that would do, right?
Yes.
That would absolutely.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I think we should close here.
Okay.
And in another session, because as we have lined up, all of you, yeah, you can
Certainly. And you can always reach out to Dibya is here, and he can forward those emails to us. We can always answer. I'm there, and I have my colleagues also, so who can support. So anytime you have questions, don't hesitate to write to us at ACCA regarding. We'll be.
Sorry. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just saying that please don't hesitate to reach out to us at any time, and we will be happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you for listening to me so patiently, almost an hour. I hope it was not very boring and you did take something from this. One thing again, sir, I would like to stress on is that speak to the students, especially those who were not here today for any reason. Let them know about the Skill Academy, whether they want to be mapped to any members.
Yes.
And members are there to guide them as well. So that also we can facilitate.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Barsha, on behalf of entire Saraf Academy team, I would like to thank you and Dibya for this session, and particularly you for conducting such a fantastic, crystal clear session. Thanks much for taking out time for this.
Thank you.
We look forward to more sessions from you.
Thank you. Certainly, we'll see you every month now, students, for different, I'll try to get different employers to talk to you as well. And I'm sure the Skill Academy will be something that you look forward to. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, all
Dibya.
of you. Yeah.